This mouse, keyboard, headset, and speaker are the best peripheral combination under 200 bucks. Before we dive into each one, if at any point during the video you want to check out any of the peripherals in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's jump into the keyboard. And the keyboard is the Redragon K599 Demos, coming in at only 53 bucks. This is an amazing value. Now, first of all, this has red switches. That's the only switch you can get with it, but that's good because it's a nice linear switch, so it's gonna be great for gaming. Now, beyond that, this is actually wireless, and this is not Bluetooth wireless because Bluetooth is not good for gaming. This actually uses a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle, which is great for gaming. So basically all you have to do is plug this into your PC and you are ready to game. So obviously this is wireless, it has its own battery, and that's the next pro, which is this actually has a really long battery life, which you wouldn't expect for this price. The dongle is also quite reliable and has a pretty long range, which is not usually to be expected, but that's pretty cool that they managed to do that. Now, this is obviously a 65% board, so you hear a lot of 60% keyboards because that's like the most popular keyboard size right now, but 65 basically adds some of those multimedia keys and then the arrow keys, which is huge for me. I need arrow keys on my keyboard. So basically, this is only a tiny bit bigger than a 60% keyboard, but you get a whole lot more functionality because of those arrow keys. And honestly, I think this form factor probably looks the best. Now, beyond that, the build quality is quite good. This thing's fairly heavy, probably to do with that battery, as well as having a whole top metal plate. So this thing is definitely gonna sound good, especially if you mod it, put some foam dampening inside of this thing. The bottom kind of shell is one piece of plastic, which is good. But a huge thing with this, and why this is one of my favorite Redragon keyboards they've ever made, is the stabilizers are super good in stock form. When you get this in stock form, one, they are pre-lubed and they are lubed very nicely. They don't rattle, they don't sound crappy, they actually sound really good, and honestly better than my Keychron K2 V2, which is surprising. But yeah, this thing has better stabilizers than a lot of way more expensive keyboards. And obviously this has per-key RGB lighting. The RGB lighting is not insanely bright, but I think that's to save on battery life a little bit. But again, 53 bucks, kind of insane. All right, now moving on to the headset. This is the EXA E900 Pros. These are by far my favorite budget headset ever, coming in at only 45 bucks, guys. Now, let's talk about this. The biggest thing, one of the biggest things, there's two big things with this headset, but a huge thing is the comfort. This thing is insanely comfortable. Even name brand brands, Corsair, Razer, HyperX, this thing competes directly with those brands, in my personal opinion. The level of quality and comfort and overall sound quality is really good, but the comfort is huge. It uses kind of pleather for the earmuffs, kind of like a foam pleather. It's quite nice. On the top band, it's incredibly plush, but the actual force that it presses against your head is not overbearing like it is with so many headsets, even really nice headsets. This thing kind of just rests on your head, and it's not even loose. It's just like the perfect tension, and it's like a cloud sitting there. It's also very light, which makes it way more comfortable for long hours of use. Now, beyond that, usually with like a pleathery kind of earmuff, a lot of times if you wear glasses, not really the best thing. However, with this, because it doesn't press so hard against your head, it's actually extremely comfortable after a long period of use, many hours, 3+ hours, even with glasses. All right, now moving into the sound quality, this is the other thing they do incredibly well. The sound quality is really, really good. And I know it's kind of hard to imagine from a brand that's not one of those big name brands, but EXA just does an amazing job. Now, their E900s are really good. The E900 Pros, for only a little bit more money, is way better. I mean, just leaps and strides better. So let's talk about it. Sound quality, the trebles are incredibly clear, the mids are incredibly clear, and the bass is very, very deep, and it's a little bit heavier than a lot more name brand like Corsair and headsets like that. It's deep bass. It's not overbearing and it's not muddy. It's clear bass, but it's nice and deep. They absolutely killed it. Listening to music sounds incredibly good. But you also have the digital 7.1 surround sound, which works incredibly well as well. So when you're in a game, especially like Insurgency Sandstorm, a little bit of a lesser known game, but they have incredible directional sound in that game. When you're in it with this headset on, it sounds unbelievable, makes you feel like you're actually in the war zone. But yeah, playing games where there's bombs going off around you and stuff, this thing is just, oh, it is ear candy. All right, moving on to the mic, there is a slight hum in the background. Nothing crazy, but it is quite clear besides that. This is the exact same mic on the E900s. It's like a $10, $15 difference. So you don't get an upgrade in the mic, you basically get an upgrade in the comfort and the sound quality most of all, although I think it's definitely worth it. But yeah, overall the mic is nice. It also is quite nice and bendy. Wherever you bend it, it stays exactly where you put it. So absolutely no issues there.
All right, testing. This is the mic test for the EXA E900 Pros. This is me getting pretty quiet. This is me getting very loud. This mic is pretty good. A little bit of hum, but quite good.
Yeah, the overall build quality is quite strong. They use metal bands on top. You got a good amount of flex. But again, that big thing is the comfort. It's just so comfortable. Moving on to the mouse, this is a super underrated mouse. This is the Corsair Saber RGB Pro. This thing is awesome, coming in at, again, only 45 bucks. This is a lightweight mouse coming in at 74 grams. Now you can get it also without RGB, and I think it's like 69 grams then, or 71. But yeah, it's quite light. Now the comfort and grip is huge for me because even though this is a lightweight mouse, this is considerably bigger than other lightweight mice in the industry. Now, this is not a bad thing because it gives you a better grip, which in my personal opinion, I find to be one, a lot more comfortable after long hours of gaming. And when I game, I usually game for quite a while, sometimes 6+ hours in a row. I know it's a problem, but so the comfort is really huge with me. And obviously this is a right-handed mouse, which a lot of these lightweight mice are actually ambidextrous, which I'm gonna be honest is great for people that are left-handed. However, if you're right-handed or if you're left-handed, it's always gonna be better to have an ergonomically shaped mouse to that hand, whether it's gonna be right or it's gonna be left. And this one is that. It's extremely comfortable. But even though it's a bigger mouse and it has a bigger hump, so it's a little bit nicer for palm users especially, rather than a claw grip, this makes it one, easier to actually grip it, and two, a lot more comfortable. Now, if you get the RGB version, you get a ton of different colors in the iCUE app that you can customize. And obviously this thing gets insanely bright with the RGB. Like it's super bright, but it's on the Corsair logo and the scroll wheel. Now for playing fast-paced games like Warzone, competitive style stuff, this thing absolutely dominates. And it also has an 8,000 hertz polling rate. So this is actually one of the fastest mice on the planet right now. There's a lot of mice that are kind of catching up right next to it. A lot of these like super competitive mice have like that 8,000 hertz polling rate, but it's right there in the mix with all of the best. Now, because this is such an underrated mouse, during its launch, it didn't sell like crazy. And because of that, Corsair has continuously kept this thing on sale for a long time. It launched at $60, but right now you can get it for 45 bucks on Amazon. Check it below. This thing is actually a super amazing value for the price just because it's underrated and people, I guess, just didn't find out about it. So yeah, absolutely awesome for 45 bucks. Last but not least, you need some speakers when you don't want to put on your headphones. You just want to listen to music or just want to do some gaming while you have your girlfriend or your friend sitting next to you. Maybe you're on a LAN party. So yeah, this is the Blue D gaming soundbar coming in at 48 bucks. This thing's absolutely awesome for the money. Now this thing actually surprised me. It has super clear trebles and mids, but it doesn't sound like overly like crisp. It's not like crispy where it feels like it's cracking. It's like a nice, actually like expensive sounding sound. Like it's just a nice sound. However, the surprising thing was the bass. Obviously, I was not expecting much out of a soundbar just because it doesn't have any built-in subwoofers, but this thing actually has a surprising amount of bass, like way more than I expected. Obviously, don't expect this thing to fill up your room with earth-shattering bass, right? There is no subwoofer with this. However, if what you're looking for is clarity, this thing is absolutely amazing, and it has got way more bass than I actually expected it to. If you put your hand on this thing when you're playing music or when you're playing games, it rumbles, and that is pretty cool. Now, beyond that, it has RGB on the front of it, and on the two sides, you can change some modes. That's pretty cool, especially if you're going for that vibe. But you can also turn it off if you don't like it. It's got a volume wheel on the side, and let me just say, this thing gets super loud, like way louder than you'd probably ever want to use it. It's quite loud. However, you get all that and it still manages to give you Bluetooth connectivity. So when you're not gaming on your PC, you can absolutely connect your phone to this via Bluetooth It works very flawlessly, no connection issues, it paired instantly, and yeah, you can play it through Bluetooth, all of that, and you still get Bluetooth, which is really cool. For 48 bucks, it's an absolute must if you want to get your peripherals under 200 bucks. But again, if you want to check out any of the peripherals in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe below, and you can check out the full series right here. And if you guys enjoy this series and want to see more, definitely comment below what you think I should do next. Should I go straight to 300 or should I do 250? But definitely make sure to subscribe below. But this was Consumer Tech Review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.